Hi, this is Tactical Reserves. I'm Brinks.
I'm Zach.
I'm Troy.
I'm Anvil.
And I'm Chad.
And this week we are obviously going to be going over the new Necron Codex and Marine Codex. And sorry we've been away for a little bit. Our boy Zach here is a dad.
Yep, had a baby.
Congrats.
Well, you didn't have a baby.
Well, yeah.
No, I did the easy part.
He had a baby like that movie.
Oh,
The Schwarzenegger movie.
Mr.
Junior?
Mom
no, it was Junior.
or Junior? Which one's Mr. Mom?
Mr. Mom's home where his
Oh,
wife went to work.
Hulk. Okay.
It's not.
Oh,
But yeah, that happened. And then I've got some illness in the family, so I've been a little bit away. Troy was under the weather for a little
a
bit.
little bit, yeah.
And Anvil's back to work, so he can only be here every other week.
Yeah.
So it's just been a crazy couple of weeks. We're glad to be back. We're excited to discuss, what we can about this right now. I wouldn't say that we're
Yeah.
highly educated on it, but we're excited about it.
We'll have a
So,
full grasp next week, hopefully.
well, I'm wanting to get a game in with the Necrons this week, so that's the plan.
But, but all the, as far as the spoiling of the new codexes came out yesterday as we're recording this. So we've seen the videos and the articles discussing the changes, but we actually haven't got to see an entire codex yet.
Yeah, we didn't get the codexes ahead of time.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we're not
that
doing
level.
Like that.
So if we make a mistake, bear with us. It will be corrected by next week, I'm sure, when we actually put models on the table, because we have both of these armies.
Yeah.
So this week in hobbying, did anybody do any hobbying this week?
Probably a little. I painted some.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like one belt?
I painted an Outrider.
Got the little black on a gun.
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah,
I got a new,
feels good to
I got a
hobby.
new shelf and painted it, and then hung it up so I can put my paints on the shelf so they can stay there because I don't paint that much. But it'll look good on the wall.
I printed probably a table's worth of terrain.
That's
'Cause
awesome.
I now have two 3D printers, so I can double barrel the action. So I can.
Because reasons.
Well, I kickstarted one like a year ago when it finally came in. But now, so it takes about a day to print one of those 3x3 pieces we have that are modular.
Yeah.
So now I can print two in a day as opposed to
That's awesome.
2 in 2 days.
I didn't know that, dude.
Zach hobbied. He learned how to change diapers and stuff. Like,
No, I've been doing a lot of that.
Human hobbies.
He got new models built.
Yeah, baby came about 3 weeks early, so I had models showed on my doorstep when I got home with the baby.
Nice.
Kept stalking GW's site until Manacores randomly showed up one day. So I snapped up a pair of those, got those built and primed. That's about as far as we've gotten with that, but we're getting there.
What about you, Troy?
I painted on some keepers. Been trying to work on them.
Right on. I did build my hobby station for streaming, and if you could travel back in time when you're listening to this, you could watch me hobby on Twitch yesterday. So, also speaking of shelves on the wall, I have a funny story. So Hello Nurse, or my wife, I guess on Twitch we call her Hello Nurse. She was talking about she always collects like ugly shit, right? And she was like, I think I want to start collecting crushed velvet Elvis paintings, and I was like, tell you what. We can do that, but I get to display my Warhammer models downstairs in exchange.
this was a compromise?
And she said no.
Oh.
So, I feel like I came out ahead. I don't have to look at Velvet Elvis. So it just maybe when you're talking about shells, I was like, it's also related to Warhammer. So
She said she wanted to collect ugly things.
Hit him with
She kind of already.
already started.
You really want to go there?
No, it's not.
Okay. All right. Games played. Did you play against yourself this week, Zach?
No, I am preoccupied at these days.
Zach lives his life 2 hours at a time.
Did anybody do any games this week?
I don't think we got any games in.
No, we didn't.
I didn't play a game.
Troy had medical issues. I've been working.
Yeah.
And,
I've been working a lot too. So.
yeah, a lot of us are returning to work. Troy's, I've returned to work. Troy returned to work. So just the way the schedule's worked
I'm
out.
working 2 jobs right now, so I mean it's a lot.
But we'll get some in.
Yeah.
Good games this week for sure.
Necron game will happen this week.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I've been waiting to put robots back on the
We'll do
table.
Necrons versus Space Marines.
Is the shop available for games now?
Yeah.
Our shop just
Yeah, so
it's
they're opening in
reopened.
for games. So I got a table's worth of terrain reprinted. So
It looks sweet,
Awesome.
man.
Also, it's kind of it's not the question of the week, but it is a question. I want you guys to let me know. we had somebody play a combat patrol this week and said they really enjoyed it. Have any of you played combat patrols? Did you enjoy it? Is that a question?
Literally one of our questions.
Well, there we go. I'm excited about it. Combat patrols sound quick and easy, and I want to know if other people enjoy it.
You just want to jump into the Q&A then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, that is our first question.
Nailed it.
From Leighton B. Just ESP right there, He says, I played a few games this week at 500 and 1,000 points, or the combat patrol, and it felt like it was really fun getting one game an hour. Said he played 3 games. Also, it felt like it helps practice for bigger games. How interested in these games are you guys?
Spoilers, very interested for me. Zach's probably like, not enough tanks.
You can put like a tank commander and a mana core on the table.
And that's it?
I have a list. It's got 2 mana cores, a
Oh,
chimera, and then for your squad and a company commander.
Yeah,
There's
my
500
God.
points.
Exactly 500.
Oh my god.
Lord, survive.
I'm of the opinion right now, with the hecticness of my life, I think the smaller games, smaller time frames are going to be more suitable for me.
At least right now, next few months.
For the next couple months, I could see me playing more smaller games. But as a general rule, I don't like small games because I want to play as many tanks or as many cool models as possible.
You said it right the first time. Tanks is what you meant.
Yeah.
You meant tanks.
But I agree with that. I like the bigger scale. It just feels more like a full army. It's not like just because like I looked at my Death Watch list the other day and I was like, it's 1 kill team, a chapter master, and or a watch master and an apothecary. That's 500 points.
Yeah, but isn't a kill team like how many?
380.
Yeah, but how many models are in that you're killing? 10.
Is it?
Dude, and 5 of them are the.
That's 12 models. 12 models is 500 points.
That would get blown off the board by 2 mana cores.
Isn't Troy's list like, here's Mortarion? We're done?
No.
Like,
I don't think Troy would be that guy.
You could, but I wouldn't.
He would just take Magnus.
No, I mean you do get a warp time magnet, so it makes more sense.
And
He'd probably take the bird and like a Blava Plague Bear.
Yeah, see, I was thinking like a bunch of Nurglings.
Yeah, Nurglings and the bird. That's a much better.
Nurgling, birds, some screamers. Call it a day.
Bobby G's 380 points. It'd be like him and one squad of like.
Luckily, with you playing him, we only have to kill him once.
Oh,
Oh, got him.
it's brutal. I like what Zach's saying. The 1 hour, you like get a game an hour in.
Yeah.
We come from Magic, so playing the best of 3
Yeah.
is a thing.
I was
I can
thinking
see
the
that
best-
being cool.
Yeah.
Best of
But that
3
doesn't really
interesting.
solve my problem right now. Like, I'm not going to be able to find 3 hours to sit in one spot.
No. But you can find an hour to sit in one spot.
I think it's a good compromise between kill team.
Well, and it's a
Kinda-
smaller table, right?
Yeah, it's definitely smaller.
So you could split a regular table in half
Yeah.
almost and have
But-
2 games going at once.
Apparently that's what it is because he taped it off.
Yeah.
And he showed me the picture and everything, and
So to me, that's also good when we all get together. We could be getting a lot more reps.
multiple
in.
games at a time.
Yeah, and the feel bads don't feel as bad if you know you have another game right around the corner.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's your one game for the week and you roll terribly, you feel pretty bad.
Well, if the shop is open, I bought an alpha table, which is what's at Zach's house. It's
Shop is
portable.
open.
We can take the table to the shop, and
And
you
we
can
can
actually
play
have double-barreled tables.
We can have 4 games going at a time,
Or two full-size games.
games,
But yeah, the reason we haven't been playing many games lately, Zach had a baby, and all we were playing in Zach's garage as our.
As the pandemic,
Because the game store is closed.
So we were playing in Zach's garage. Well, now Zach has a baby. He doesn't want to, obviously he's busy, and we don't want to be bringing in a pandemic a bunch of people over to his baby.
Yeah.
So no, the games were kind of put on hold. So.
And we're not quiet, so
We're not quiet.
definitely not quiet.
They tell you, the baby's not that quiet either.
That's true.
But yeah, I'm interested.
I mean,
I'm interested, but I like.
I
having
would
all
play
the
a
stuff.
game, but I'm more. I'm kind of got away from big models too. I've been playing a lot of. I just like having.
You could put
more
one
stuff.
punch knight out there.
That's
That is the smallest. Yeah, 400 points. This is the cheapest night.
yeah. He could
So
even
you
bring
could
some
use
friends.
Yes,
Yeah, you could run a
a
bigger
couple
night.
boys with him. Yeah.
Not a big night, though.
No, I don't think.
What's the Knight Castellan?
Oh, it's like
600.
600.
Oh, that's too many. Yes.
Yeah, you can play like. You
could play him at 1,000 points,
I don't
yeah.
think you can play a Crusader. You can play like one of the Paladins, the one that's got a gun and a.
I think a
all you
1,000.
need.
I think 1,000-point game interests me more than 500.
Yeah, it might be more in the.
You get more command
Those
points.
boards
that
are
way,
pretty
too.
small for 1,000 points, though.
Three command
No, they get
command
bigger.
points seems loose.
There's like a
I
small.
thought Combat Patrol was 500 to 1,000.
It is.
It is.
It is 500 to
No, I
1,000.
think it's-
Yeah.
That board looked pretty
It's
small.
small for 1,000.
It's
I
small for-
I think you could compromise and maybe say we'll play 750s, and that's kind of the happy middle ground.
There's a middle one that's 500, 1,000.
No, the middle one is the 2K, because then you got the big game that's like
3,000 points,
maybe
more,
2,000.
2,000 plus,
yeah.
and that's the full size table or what we.
No, that's the bigger.
There's a bigger.
Incursion.
Oh, really?
Combat Patrol is 0 to 500, and then Incursion is
500 to 1,000.
50. Yeah, 501 to 1,000.
Okay.
But you get 6 CP in that one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I see.
There's 4.
There's
So
4. I thought
there's
there
a
were
big
3.
one that's 18 CP.
Okay.
Oh my god.
2001 to 3000.
Where me and Zach break out.
We need more of
All the
those
big
games
models.
happening.
Yeah, more than
3,000 points actually doesn't seem that bad. It's just you're not really practicing for anything. You just
you just doing it.
putting all
I
your
don't know
shit
how
on.
much practice you'll get at the 500-point range.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
can.
Well, apparently some of the
I think it's testing the viability of a specific unit. How does it feel on the table?
I think you would learn a little bit about like movement and how your core units work, because that's mostly what you're gonna be playing. And I also think you would learn how to really get the best out of your CP. 'Cause you only get 3.
I don't only have one on my list.
Well, you only have 1 CP, so you see how your army functions.
apparently some of the indie guys and Michigan guys have been running tournaments, and the shop organizers and everything like this a lot because again the table size is smaller. They can get more games and it's faster. People aren't there. You're playing 3 rounds. You're not there. 9 hours. You're there 4 hours instead. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. We got seems like a fair amount of questions.
Robert A. from Warhammer 40K. What songs do you guys listen to while painting? If not music, what is happening while you are painting? That's a great question.
Zach?
Zach? Yeah.
Listen to and kind of watch battle reports all over YouTube. I watch them all.
I'll throw it on Spotify, but I don't have like specific songs. I got like
Don't
2,000.
got a painting playlist?
No, I got like 2,000 songs in my playlist. I just hit shuffle, call it a day.
Or a lot of times I'll just, if I'm into an artist, I'll just pull up their like their artist radio on Spotify, and they'll play that artist and similar. Like I got back into Nightwish. I haven't listened to Nightwish in a long time, so it's just been like symphonic metal nonstop, just while I'm painting. Or like Zach said, I do podcasts sometimes. I'll just be listening to Chapter Tactics or something like that. Listen to if there's something new that's out in 40K, listen about it.
He'll be listening to
Or sports, just podcasts, sports science podcasts, things I like, or just battle. It's like those things. Not usually it's not music, but it can be music. But I'm listening to podcasts or battle reports.
Yep.
From personal experience, if it is music, it's totally 80s metal for Ample. But,
What about you?
I mean,
can we even count it if you don't have it?
ESPN's on in the background a lot. A lot of sports shows and everything, or random YouTube videos about games I'm liking, like Teamfight Tactics right now. I've been listening to a lot of strategies on that, and some No Man's Sky videos, or your stream in the background when you're streaming.
I will throw on your stream a lot,
Yeah,
which sucks because every 5 minutes I got a stream writer, but
I have. Yeah, I had it on the.
don't get
60
much painting done.
I had it on the 60-inch the other day. If you check Discord,
I showed it on the stream.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would look good on the TV. It does.
So if I'm not streaming, if I'm streaming, I just listen. If I'm listening to music, it's like super chill, lo-fi, something relaxing. If I'm not streaming, I'm either watching a battle report, audiobook, or podcast. I don't really listen to music. Generally, if I'm hobbying, I'd much rather get in a good podcast or an audiobook or the quality of battle reports on YouTube right now is just absurd.
ridiculous.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Like
There's some
the production value has gone up significantly in the last since the COVID stuff started. It's it seems like 40K got pretty serious on
Our games will
production.
have to step real high when we start producing.
Well, I mean, like mini wargaming had some good stuff, but their games weren't competitive, and now you got guys putting down competitive games in
competitive
nice looking rooms, with production. It's awesome.
The tabletop Titans. That's the standard you want to be at.
I mean, I
Those
went to
guys
see Zach's baby and watched a battle report.
are awesome.
I was like, God, it was Necrons. So
No, of course it was.
Get sucked in.
You're like, what happened? Oh, 2 hours went by. Okay, I see. Elias H. from Warhammer 40K. How many of you guys have stuck with one and only one army? What did you choose and why? Also, if you didn't, do you ever wish you did? I think I'm the only one, right?
you just haven't played long enough.
Well, none of us. Well, I guess Zach sold an army.
I sold an army. I sold
but
orcs.
I still have all my. I have not
two
sold a
armies.
model.
Yeah, and then I bought one
You
back.
got rid of sisters.
You're right.
What was
And most of your blood angels.
Yeah.
I'm back over 2K of Blood Angels. So
I still have it. I have not sold any models.
You haven't sold a single one. Neither have I.
I have all my armies. I haven't sold out, but I've played different. I've got knights. I have Admech, and I have Death Watch, and I have a little bit of guard, but not a bunch.
I'm the only one. Granted, I am the newest, but I'm
You
only
got more than 1,000
Ultramarines.
points of card.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but I was like,
You were playing the list, which
I have,
was mostly
I have
guards.
some infantry and a tank commander, and
a bunch of mortars. Yeah.
Bunch of
Yeah.
mortars.
Whatever was really, really good.
Yeah, you remember that old list that was really good? Animals
I have
got it.
hellhounds.
That was the list.
I'm the only one with one army. Ultramarines. That's it. But
I think I've went through the most armies except for Vrosco. I was just trying to find the play style I wanted.
Got
Like,
him.
yeah,
Sunshine goes through a lot of armies.
dude, that dude gets beat, purchases the army.
I saw his workspace, which is phenomenal. That and then in the basement, like there's 2 shelves.
Dude,
stacked
that is the
high.
most Hannibal Lecter looking hobby space I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not gonna lie.
Alright?
I thought Clarice was hiding off in the
Yeah,
corner.
I was
you know.
like,
But it was.
like he was like, let me show you my hobby space, and I was looking for the meat hooks when I went down there, dude.
But he has a lot of well painted models down
He
there.
does. It's a cool spot, but
Yeah.
But you talked about you regret Zach's buying back into Blood Angels. He got out, was like Blood Angels trash.
You coming back?
Well, and he shouldn't have sold his sisters because they're cool.
I wasn't ever going to paint sisters to the quality they deserve. The sculpts are really, really nice. I bought into them and I was like, I'm going to not do this. I'm going to sell this and buy custodes because I want to paint like 20 models instead of hundreds of models.
I will say my issue was actually like,
There was too
So-
many orcs.
no, orcs I just didn't like. Like I thought they'd be fun, but I hated how random they are. There's nothing like whenever I build a list to consistently do a thing. Orcs don't do it.
Except for
No matter how many dice you throw at the problem with orcs, they're just so variable.
That's what they do. They consistently
Yeah.
throw dice at
So
the problem.
you gotta be that guy who
I hope it
enjoys
works.
that game style to be orcs.
Yeah, you gotta
like
enjoy that. For me, I've always been like, basically spam something so that I can do this one thing consistently. I mean, you know that in all of the games I play.
Every game we play.
Yeah, like that's just
Take forever doing it.
Yep.
well,
He plays win conditions.
Well, he only plays one game every 2 months, so
but
Gotta get his time in.
I would say one of the biggest issues is getting into Warhammer is it's really nice that people can say play whatever you want whenever you ask the question what army should I play. But if you're actually looking to see like what the actual play style of an army is, you can't really pay attention to the lore because
No.
that's what I tried to do and I bought Death Guard and they didn't do what I wanted to do at all. Like they were just like these derpy slow dudes. They didn't control the board. They just
Disgusting,
didn't
stinky,
die.
smelly.
But the way they talked about it was like I wanted to play this derpy, slow army that would just like control things, and they didn't. They just didn't die. Like they had no power.
Couldn't kill
So
anything.
yeah, they couldn't, especially back then. Like so, it's hard to buy into one army and just be good unless you get lucky, or you're super just into lore. I wanted to play good stuff.
His
So.
sword is on fire. Okay?
If you wanted to just be good, you just always pick Space Marines.
No.
That is
Ultramarines.
not the truth.
Because
It's
you
8th
can-
edition.
You could play. But Space Marines has such a. The thing about Space Marines is it has such a large range.
Well, yeah, now
You
they
can
spent
al-
a year releasing a model every 6
Well,
fucking
We're
minutes.
talking about now. We're not talking 20 years ago. What I'm saying, like now, if you want to get into an army, it's like Space Marines you can build an army to do. You can build a choppy army. You can
Oh
build a
yeah,
shooty
now
army,
you
can-
definitely buy into Space Marines. I agree.
See, I feel like I'm
It's
mostly
versatile.
stuck to one army.
You
but
did.
That army was chaos, not one of the chaos armies, just chaos.
Just chaos in general.
yeah, just be
Well,
chaos.
if that counts, then I'm. Oh wait,
We're Imperium.
Yeah, no,
got
you
Tyranids.
got bugs running
Here it
around.
is. Yeah.
I'm all Imperium. Pew. But
I mean, you're basically a Chaos Demons guy. Like,
no, he's got
for the
Death
most
Guard.
part.
He still likes the Death Guard.
That's because I started with Death Guard. I feel like I think I've painted the most Death Guard, so I feel like I need to keep playing them.
Blood groans.
well, they're good now. So
That kind of goes into our next question, Troy. Jack S. from Warhammer 40k. Hey guys, still kind of new to the hobby. My question is this: paint then assemble, or assemble then paint?
assemble everything but the overlapping pieces that make it hard to paint too.
Like the arms that cover up the chest.
It really,
yeah.
Throw it all together, put paint on it.
it really depends. It really depends on the models. Like things like intercessors. They're not that bad, even when they overlap to get like the eagles on the chest.
Something with a lot of detail.
Yeah,
like sisters or like a big or like a.
Some of the bigger stuff you can do sub-assemblies on
because they're so huge, but like.
I paint guardsmen on the sprue. Don't at me.
My issue
I'm on
with
Zach's
doing
side.
it totally on the sprue is I like to come up with a custom scheme for my army, and I need a model all together to see how everything
Well,
looks.
I feel like
take
when you
one
go to,
off
like,
the sprue and then paint the rest.
once you go to assemble it, it feels weird. And
Once it's
Well,
already painted.
Yeah,
I
I tried
glue
that.
models together like a fucking heathen, dude. I just dip that thing in glue. I got it all over my fingers. I gotta clean my models up when I'm done.
I'm like tactical lines. And
No,
I'm
but
like,
we had-
it's
Dude,
not sticking.
Did you see me on?
When we had the 24-hour stream, he like
My fingers have
they
like.
were just like he had an extra like quarter-inch on every finger from glue. Like half the pieces are on the floor. Like
I do remember him dropping a lot.
oh my god, it's just
I mean,
it's barbaric.
I assemble my Lehman Russes entirely before I start painting.
Because they're trying to have blocks.
Yeah, like turrets and all. Like I don't care. But guardsmen, I'm painting those bastards on the sprue.
but
Small things I think is better to paint when they're apart.
I think it really.
I don't think most people paint anything on the sprue. But
No,
I think it-
I won't do
I
that.
think it depends on the model.
The guardsmen-
Like if I was playing something like Tyranids or even Necrons, there were some of the things that got like a lot of pieces.
bones and
Okay,
stuff.
like his Lord Discord, no way I would put that thing together, painting that or the Talos.
It's
Oh, the
not bad.
Talos with the
Yeah,
tail.
I will
Sorry,
say
but-
the Necrons that I put together during the 24-hour, which my goal was to build and paint 3 boxes of Indominus, so like I just had to do it. It sucks painting them now. There's like so many horrible areas to paint. I'm just like, why did I do that?
I think it's just you have to take it on a model by model, but you have to look at it and be like, it's gonna be tough getting in there. So I'll paint that before I'll.
I really wish I hadn't built Mortarion.
Yeah,
I would have painted. His model is so complex, and he's like hanging, so you got to get in between there to get the stuff on the base.
Yeah.
But that's really the only one that I feel like.
Watching Verosco paint his the last couple weeks, like he's been doing it in pieces. And
Yeah, he spent like 3 months on the base.
on just he's like, I'm glad I didn't do this, didn't put it together, then paint it. This
Then
was
you
the
can't
better
play.
way.
So Scorpec destroyers are going to be good, I think. Do not put the arms on them before you paint them, because they've got these swords, but they have three arms or 4 arms, and they're going all around the torso.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think like I said, if you're painting things like, and I know a lot of people don't put the heads on,
Yeah, a lot of people do heads on
Separate,
sprue
yeah.
or on.
or like they'll glue it to a toothpick or.
Steak.
Yes.
That's right.
But so that they can get more detail, because when you shove it into like especially power armor and stuff,
But if you're gonna do that, like that's high level painting. If you're gonna put that much detail into your faces,
Yeah, I agree.
it's just up to you.
next,
Brandon W. Warhammer 40,000. What is the worst thing to happen to you when you were painting your models, Ample?
I spilled null oil on my crotch.
doesn't everybody though?
Yeah,
I have not.
That can't be the worst thing.
I haven't.
It's like a daily picture.
I
on the
chose to
internet.
sit across from Chad for 24 hours.
Oh, God!
Oh my god!
That's pretty bad.
Worst thing?
The worst thing.
I tried to paint some armatures yellow. If you've ever painted yellow, you know what that. I primed black and then attempted to paint yellow, which don't ever do that. Prime white.
That sounds awful.
Prime white, paint yellow. I think that armature has like 47 coats of yellow on it, trying to make it look yellow again. Like
The one in.
I couldn't figure out how to rust properly, so I just got the bright idea to paint an entire Lehman Rust in typhus corrosion and then dry brush. It turned out terrible, and I was like, "Well, that sucks. I'll just prime over it." And that got worse.
Oh no!
So that one got sold on eBay. We're done here.
we're done.
Bought another one.
Mistakes were made.
Had to restart.
The one and only time I tried to paint while my 3-year-old was awake, she came in there and goes, "Daddy's toy," and picks up my wet intercessor and just ran and then threw it and it exploded. There was blue paint on the wall and the floor, and now I don't paint when she's awake.
Well, you don't paint period, so we don't.
Yeah. I will say my actual probably worst hobby experience was I bought a Badger airbrush, and I hate it.
Still hate it?
I bought dropper bottles to put paint in.
Yeah.
And I was trying to put my Feston Red in the dropper bottle and spilled it into the keyboard
Oh, that's bad.
Taking keys off.
Spending money for a quality airbrush and then having the like $10
not quality
Amazon
airbrush.
brush just blow it out is very frustrating.
I remember I tried to do the fade effect on the bird on his wings to like go from. You take like the pallid witch flesh you put on there, and I really fucked it up the first time. I did not dry brush as much as I should have. I was like, oh, this looks bad. I was like, I'll do it on the other one, made it look better, and it didn't.
It did not make it look better.
Oh, it was bad. So I had to go back and repaint his wings. It was the worst.
That sounds rough.
That's pretty rough.
But that's how you get better. You know, you try it and then you're like, that didn't work.
You didn't have to rebuy a model.
I did not.
Well, you didn't either, but you were like, fuck this, I'm out.
I mean, he would have had to strip that thing.
Yeah, but you could have just bought some
Leave it in-
simple green and
Leave it in there for 2
Have
weeks.
you met Zach?
that's true.
He tried it on those Gene Stealers, which didn't do anything.
No.
All right, what's next?
Michael S. via email. If you're just playing with friends or a local game store with cool folks, would you allow someone to use a 3D printed model?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
They allowed me to use cardboard, so I mean...
I think you should allow, unless a tournament explicitly says GW only models, like, I don't want to see the same exact thing on the table all the time.
Kit
If it's-
bashes are cool.
Yeah,
3D
kit bashes are
printed
cool.
stuff's
Especially a 3D printed stuff combined with a kit bash.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna get some cool stuff. Like, this game is supposed to be about hobbying and lore. The worst thing you could do as like a person is take somebody's hard work custom model and tell them they can't play it. That is the worst thing.
On the flip side, you gotta be careful if you're just copying GW models.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Yeah.
There are
There's
copyright
a little bit
things in
difference
there.
there. I mean,
But even then-
if you're local, yeah,
If you're local and you just
I
want to
still wouldn't
test,
care.
Yeah.
But if you're just flipping,
Even then, that's more of a that guy's issue with
Right.
not spending money in GW. That's then we know what the model is. Like, it's not my business that he 3D printed his
if
stuff.
we're playing with friends though, and you're like, well, could you 3D print this? I want to test this. I'd print them something just so they can try it out if they want to buy one eventually.
Yeah.
But they don't want to spend the money, and they're like, well, could we do this? Like, okay. I printed Zach some turrets that he never used.
Yeah, I've got custom obliterators because I hate the obliterator models.
Didn't you use the big wings on something?
Well, I mean, everything else was a kit bash of multiple different. Like, I bought a bunch of bits from eBay, like special wings for my custom demon princes and stuff like that. I love kit bashing and stuff like. I think that's great. I think it's a big part of the game. And sometimes GW, like, the problem is with the new obliterators, like, it's a cool model. But, like, I'm playing Alpha Legion, and it doesn't feel Alpha Legion. They're so brutish. So, like, I found a more streamlined model to use as my obliterators, because, they're -1 hit and camouflaged. So I wanted something a little more muted than spike freaking skin guns everywhere.
just put some ghillie suits on.
But, but I have no problem, if people want to play something and proxy it, and even if we're just playing for fun. But in a tournament, you should have, if you're just printing one that looks exactly like the other one,
That's a little much.
that's a little much. But if you want to print different heads and arms and things like that and augment your piece, that's great. That's great for the game. If you can get into the software and you want to sculpt a different helmet for your captain, so he's got like a big shark fin on his head, or whatever you want to do, like, that's cool. That's fun.
Troy is on board. So, like, I've got
You got the space sharks.
I've got all the Forge World Terminators coming instead of regular Terminators.
Sure.
So, like, I don't know. I just think having some flavor to the army,
Yeah.
especially if it's going to be a common.
And if it's not an advantage,
Yeah, definitely. You should always be modeling either identical or to disadvantage.
yeah, it's
Never,
like if it's,
ever.
Yeah, you can't be like this little bitty guy. He's Terminator. Like, I mean, in testing, yeah. If you're like, hey, I forgot my Terminator or whatever, it's like, this dude's Terminator. Like,
Well, I tested them. I tested Necrons as Chaos because I was like, I don't want to buy all these models. And it was like, I was like, roughly spread them out. I was like, this is about how much space they take up. Anyway, we can move on.
David S. Indy 40K. Does anyone use the psychic secondaries with Thousand Suns? The internet tells me that Zangor Shaman is a mental interrogation bot, but I'm having my doubts, especially with the way Ninth has fewer ways to protect characters.
I tried them in the beginning. I don't think they're worth it.
No, there's almost always better. I mean, I'm playing Thousand
Of course,
Suns.
I've played against a bunch of Stows, and he just counters it.
Well, I mean, I've been playing Thousand Suns. I mean,
The whole time.
Well,
the whole time of 9th edition, and those psychic, and I mean, I've got plenty of psychic powers, and they just don't feel good.
What do you think about the Zangor Shaman mental interrogation?
I still don't think it's good.
It's not bad because he's mobile.
No, but
And he's
that says something about
screenable,
your
but
list.
he's just-
If that's the best thing you can do,
Yeah.
like if that's the best thing you can do, that says to you probably have some problems with your list.
Yeah.
Because there are just better.
Well, like we've said, you could just do the deploy scramblers.
Yeah.
That's just
There's
the way
better
you-
secondaries.
Mental interrogation will get you max points, though, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
But you gotta do it every turn.
to a
Scramblers
character.
will only get you
To a
10.
character.
You gotta do it to a character every turn.
Right, but
Because you get 3
But
points.
you can't be like just play scramblers
No,
instead
that's
because
true.
10 points and 15 points is a big difference.
Very
I
true.
agree. I agree.
I feel like if you're taking a psychic heavy army, you're paying points for those psychic powers, and to give up a character to do it, your list is probably not built to do that. Now,
Yeah.
the Zangor Shaman maybe
I would say if you're gonna do it, that's the model
still
to
like
do it.
90 points, 100 points, or something like that to do.
Yeah,
So
I think it's 90.
After I read that, I looked up on the internet, tried to find like a thread that had
A lot of people
talking
say,
about
a lot
it.
of people are like, I've seen, not a lot, I've seen the threads of the discussion.
There's
The
one on
problem
Reddit
is,
had the best argument for it. 'cause
yeah, the problem to me though is like, it just says that you've probably got a weak point in your list if that's what you want to be doing above, two other things. Because one thing should be against your opponent's army and you should be doing two others. If that's one of your two, that's rough.
with the way lists are built now, where people are not bringing a lot of characters, right? We're getting single patrols, single battalions, that kind of thing. And so you've got to not kill one of these characters, and they know you can't kill one of them, right? So
And
they
you gotta
get
chase
just
it
free
around.
range, and you have to stay within 18 inches.
And
of
they
it.
could just deep strike it.
Right. So, like your list, you have a captain and Bobby G.
Yeah.
Well, I can't leave either one of those just run around beating the crap out of me for 5 turns. If I can't kill them either, I just kill that secondary. So it's kind of if the list is a bunch of company commanders running around, maybe.
Yeah, because you're like, well, I don't care. Company commander it away.
But characters are some of the more powerful things, and you need them alive to get your secondary done.
Yeah.
But you also need to kill them so you don't die.
Yep, and you definitely, especially with Space Marines, pre-core, we'll see how
Yeah,
it shakes
that's the
out
cool
post-core, but pre-core, like, it is too powerful to let everything re-roll. So, yeah, I would agree.
Dan C. from Warhammer 40,000. I am not a fan of Primaris very much, but I was looking at pre-orders, and that ATV is sweet looking. So I ordered one. That being said, was there ever a model you saw and liked it so much that you just had to have it, even though you don't play that army, Zach?
Celestine, I guess.
You played the shit out of Celestine, though.
But I played her because the model was sweet.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's right in that. He was immediately the one I thought of when I read the question. I
I
was like,
got a Lord Discordant, and I don't really play Chaos Space Marine.
But he fucks.
Oh, the dude is sweet. Oh, it's awesome.
Ragnarable.
He's going to play him. He's
I'm
going
going to play him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Not right now, but
I'm working on it. Trying to think.
Mephiston.
I have 2 Mephistons just because.
Yeah, but the Blood Angels was good at the time, so he bought
But he
Blood
never
Angels.
played. But Mephiston wasn't
Yeah,
good.
Mephiston's never been good.
he's just sweet looking.
So I was like, ooh, I own the new one. I have an old one. I was like, yeah, Mephiston's sweet. I played him and it was bad, but it was sweet.
I don't think I've ever bought a model outside of my army. Mostly just because, like, I buy so many models for my armies that I'm just like, I can't buy another model outside of my army or I'll buy another army.
I had it in the shopping cart, the knight from Eldar, Templar Knight, I think, with the big alien cone
The
head
Wraith
looking
Knight?
face.
Wraith movie.
The Wraith Knight. It's just so sweet looking. He has a huge gun and
Well, hopefully they make him better, because right now
he's trash, but
Well, he was also trashed because Imperial Knights were running rampant at the time, and it's like, you can't have something big that sucks on the table with the Knights running around.
Sunshine has an unpainted one. I debated it, but why don't you let me
giant
get
one, the
yeah, he has the
four
2000 point one too. Like,
Yeah, it's like, I have a Castellan, you have this thing.
let's do it.
You no longer have your thing.
Yeah. I would say, though, that the Necron models, a lot of the new line, are some of my most favorite models
Are you
I've
ready
ever
to
seen.
run off and marry the Silent King already?
Yes. I am.
the Void Dragon.
I already messaged Ben. I was like, Silent King. I was like, if a Necron model goes up, I want it. I don't care. I told him that. I was like, if you have an option to order it, and it's a new model, order that shit.
Order it.
I messaged him. I told him that yesterday.
He's reserving the wedding hall for the Silent King already. He's just going
I
on
think
every
Void Dragon
list.
looks sweet.
The Void Dragon's web store only.
What?
Yeah. He told me that the day it got spoiled, like the picture of it way back,
I'm
like
gonna need
a month.
that.
I messaged him. I was like, I'm gonna need that Void Dragon. He's like, web store only, bro. I was like, no.
Got him.
So yeah.
All right. Our last question. The question of the week. What are your thoughts on all the new models and new codexes? Also, are Eradicators even better after the change? This is from Troy S. on Twitter, which again is not you.
Nope.
Troy,
No, does it say Viking Hard on?
No, it
Twitter?
doesn't.
Okay.
It's not.
I feel like that's just the main topic.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why it's the question.
That's why it's the question of the week, because we had 14 people ask this question. When I said, hey, we need questions, they're like, the new stuff. So I picked the best one.
I don't think our listeners sound like that personally.
Yeah, you guys sound way smarter than Chad.
Yeah.
That's Chad's view and does not necessarily reflect the view of the rest
Fuck
of
the podcast.
Disclaimer.
A lot of people are asking about single models.
So
So
like-
go-kart.
I-
Eight
I'll-
go-karts and pay them like Mario Kart.
that'd be amazing.
Yippee!
And then race them versus the
Speed Freaks?
No, the Orc. Yeah, the Orc Speed
I
Freaks.
like it. I like
The
it.
Boondocka Snazwagon.
Boom, ducks.
Make them look like Bowser.
The Shock Jump Dragster. That would be so awesome.
Now it's happening.
Yeah, that
Somebody's
needs to
gotta
happen.
do it.
Somebody do
Well,
that,
and
please.
before we get into it, you talked about the ATV.
Yeah, the...
Apothecaries can reanimate ATVs.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
God.
that's kind of
Eight-wound
annoying.
ATVs coming back.
Full wounds.
You know, I'd have to roll 8 5s to bring an 8-wound Necron back.
You would.
We'll talk about that. I personally think Eradicators are better.
I agree.
I mean, it's just an option to go up to 6. You don't have to. So,
I think-
yeah, they're inherently better. But they did take away the advance and double shoot.
Well, they also took away they're not core. But I think I think in my experience, if you're an Ultramarines player for sure, being able to play, which the magic number's 5 because there's the stratagem that
stratagem.
limits it to 5.
Which got lowered to 1 CP instead of 2.
Yeah, so the magic number would be 5, but you're wasting CP trying to fill out heavy slots right now, correct?
Kinda, yeah. I was playing a Spearhead for a while and just trying to, so many.
And yeah, Spearhead's expensive though,
Yeah.
It's 3 CP
It's 3 CP.
so that's a
and another character.
big deal because
Yeah.
you could just run a patrol at least save a CP instead of a Spearhead.
I would rather play a battalion
Yeah.
and have one squad of 5 than... I don't know if I'd rather have one squad of 5 or...
I think it's gonna be 2 squads of 5.
I think it'll
Yeah,
be
it probably is going to be...
Because you're gonna deep strike one and you're gonna
or
have
even
one on the
one squad
table.
of 5 and one squad of 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
The numbers are there. I think 6.
They're 40 points
I don't think the
apiece.
one extra guy is worth.
Well,
paying
and it
2 CP to
activates
train.
blast basically.
Yeah,
so-
it activates blast and it makes it 2 CP to transhuman him. So I don't think that last guy is worth it.
Agreed.
Take another one.
200 points for a squad of 5 is...
And you can take a multi-melt in them now, so.
Yeah. Because they have two... They have the heavy
sergeant or
gun.
something?
They have a heavy...
They have the heavy melta, and then for every 3, you can take one
One
multi-melta.
multi-multi.
Now, what's the stat line on the multi-melta?
It's 2 shots, I think.
They're both the same 8 minus 4 d6, but on the heavy, it's if you're in half range, it's d6 plus 4, and the multi-melta is
But it's always D6 plus 2.
it's always
D6
but
plus 2.
they're always d6 plus 2.
The heavy one is.
The heavy one.
That's the new melta.
So you can't advance and shoot
All
it at all.
meltas are going to be like that.
Yeah, you heard it right.
The multi-melta,
Holy
Yeah,
Multi-melta
shit!
went to
It's a bolt
2 shots, right?
yeah, the multi-melta gets 2 shots now, right?
Yeah, I thought that was because it used to be double range, but
Yeah.
then it was supposed to go.
But
to
it's
2
still
shots.
30 inches. The multi-melta is 30 inches, like the
No.
regular one?
No, the regular ones are 24.
Or 24? The
Yeah,
regular
I
one,
assume
it's
so.
still 24?
Multi-melta, 24, heavy 2,
Jesus
8
Christ.
minus 4 d6. Each time an attack made with this weapon targets a unit within half range, that attack has a damage characteristic of d6 plus 2.
Okay, so
That's
they're just
the
D6, but if they're in half range,
You get
Yeah, the
D6
heavy
plus-
one is D6.
Used
plus
to be
2.
you rolled 2d6, you got the previous size.
yeah.
Now it's just d6 plus 2 if they're in half.
Okay.
And-
But
okay.
the heavy,
The heavy one is always
the
D6
heavy
plus 2.
eradicator, the heavy eradicator one is heavy 6 plus, or d6 plus 2. And then if they're within
half range.
half
D6
range,
it's
plus 4.
d6 plus
That's
4.
insane.
Now that
They are significantly better.
Somebody was doing the math, they said the
But the
average...
heavy, do you take that? You get multiples of that?
Yeah, that's the regular.
That's their regular gun.
That's the regular gun.
But
That's
then
what they've been shooting?
No.
No.
They have assaults right now.
They have assaults right now.
They have a heavy option. But heavy.
So if you take the heavy option, you can't advance to shoot at all.
You can't advance shoot.
You can't advance
if you
shoot
move,
if-
you get -1 to hit
Yeah.
because it's heavy.
No,
So
do they have the move and shoot penalty on that, or can they? I know Ultramarines, can't they ignore that?
no.
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 Okay.
They do in tactical doctrine.
Yeah,
That's
one of the
count
doctrines-
as moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the Devastator doc.
No, Devastator.
Yeah, because you ignore all the penalty for moving in.
Correct.
Okay,
First
so
sector.
No, they don't. You just get +1 AP.
And you ignore the heavy penalty.
In the first doctrine.
I don't think everybody does.
well, that's crazy. I
Either
mean,
way, they're nuts.
that
Somebody said
is
the
so
average-
much better on average damage on their guns
20.
and not half
It's
rate.
But it's still
Modified.
only 24-inch range, right?
24-inch range, yeah.
Yeah.
If they can't move without getting a penalty, they're not going to shoot you.
I think you still go with the assault ones. I don't think you need.
I think
that
the
extra.
assault ones are what made them really good.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to stay out of the range.
That's true. But they,
The
I
heavy
mean,
ones are really slow because they only move 5 inches.
yeah, that's true. Well, I never saw them move, advance, and shoot in the time
That's
I
the only
played.
way I lost with
Yeah,
against
I've
them.
seen them.
You can hide behind cover and then they just run through the cover and shoot you.
I don't know. That's a really good damage profile on a gun
It is
for,
a really
for,
good- sure.
for 40
I'm
points.
not arguing with that. But
Like-
Yeah, I think there's somebody like Iron Hands or somebody.
Iron Hand ignores it then. Yeah, that's what it is.
But it's not just inherently in the.
I mean, you're talking, I don't know. It just seems 40 points for 24-inch range, heavy 1, strength 8.
Well, we don't,
Hitting on
we don't know if the
threes?
heavy ones are still 40 points.
well,
they might
get
be
on
more.
4s if you moved.
Yeah, well, 24-inch range, though, so 3s.
And no
Assuming-
rerolls.
Yeah, I guess they don't get rerolls, so.
And it's
I don't
one
know.
Shot. They get
one
to shoot
shot.
those two?
Well, yeah, they can shoot them twice if they didn't move.
If they didn't move, yeah.
If you didn't-
If they did move and they target one target.
Is it that they don't move? Or
Yeah, that's what it
They have to all target the same
They all
thing.
have to.
They all
shoot
have to target
twice.
the same thing to shoot twice.
But the assault ones can still move and shoot twice.
So can the heavy
No.
ones? The
So
assault
they
ones
can't advance and shoot twice.
Right, they
Yeah.
can't. They can still
But they can
move.
still move
Yeah.
and shoot twice.
Still move and shoot twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the heavy ones, you just can't move at all. Just shoot twice.
Or do they
No,
get?
you can't. You just have the penalty.
Yeah, you just have a -1
In
to
your
hit.
shooting phase, each time this unit is selected to shoot, if it is not advanced this turn,
Yeah.
it can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shoot twice.
It can
Okay.
shoot twice.
So, but if you have the assault ones, you can no longer advance and shoot twice like you
Yeah,
used to be
yeah.
able to. And they have to all target the same.
Which I think is a good fix.
It's good. It's really good.
They said
I mean, you could still advance and shoot a Russ and probably kill it with 5 of them.
Not if you're shooting the heavy ones.
No, not the heavy ones, the assault ones.
Well, then you only have 5 shots hitting on 4s.
But it's still
Wounded on
doable.
4s.
It's still doable.
Somebody
it's
said he
not
would-
likely.
No.
there's like 80 replies to the post about the league, and somebody said they tested it with 5 of them and rolled like 20 times, and average was like 21 damage for a squad of 5.
Well, I mean,
I think range is more the problem with the heavy one.
I agree as well.
yeah, but
I
if
gave
they're
you
if
each
the
like
board
one
is so
hit.
small, like the thing is they already shut down a portion of the board, like that's been their function, and now they can be in a bigger unit. And seriously, if you get remotely close to that area of the board, like it's super dead. Like
Now, they do go up to power rating 12 if they're above 4. If there's 4 or
Nobody's
more.
arguing that they're bad. I just don't know if they're.
Better.
Better than they were.
I think they're probably better than they were.
I don't know. I think being able to advance the other one and shoot twice was pretty good.
It was really
It
good.
was really good.
So now
But
they
being able to
take
take
that
more
away.
now, I think.
I think being
but you can take 6 of them now and get the same number of shots, still advance and shoot.
Yeah, but also it's not like you can just add that to an army. You know what I mean? It's like you cost your army somewhere else by having to add more.
well, I mean,
Well,
you
you
just
could just take two threes.
you were just instead of
Yeah, you
taking
were
3 units,
you
you
take
just
one
take
unit, 6.
1 unit.
One
yeah.
unit 6.
So it's not that. You can do it.
I mean, if advancing and shooting was your goal, you can just take a unit of 6 and do exactly what
Well, can't you throw them into transport? Can they
Yeah,
ride
no.
in
They're
anything?
Gravis army.
There and grab some.
They can't ride. There's no transport for those yet.
It might be like a
I think you
four-
can't.
I thought that-
regular repulsor.
Oh, I thought it was the new impulsor
I
or
think
whatever.
The repulsor you can
Repulsor you can't. I think repulsor you might be able to take them, but they take up 2 or 3 slots.
Yeah.
I think
So you
the
wouldn't be able
repulsor-
to take 6.
Well, I was thinking, can you put 5 in a transport?
Maybe.
Because if you could put 5 in a transport, I'd just park them in the middle of the
probably get-
table.
I think they take up 3 slots, so you'd be able to get 3.
Okay, well that's probably not enough, in my opinion.
Imperium Adeptus Ascetus, Infantry Corps Primaris, MKX Gravis.
They are cool.
What?
Infantry Corps Primaris
Oh, they are
MKX Gravis Eradicator Squad.
So they get the rerolls too.
Yeah. So they're insane.
Just so they're better. Yeah, they're insane.
They're insane. They made them better. I don't know. They made the best model that they've released in a long time better.
So you could take 5 in a regular repulsor.
Okay. So that's also
Gravis takes
insane.
up two
And their transhuman only costs 1 now instead of 2.
can't transport jump pack, but it can
And
transport.
nobody's gonna pay 300 points, 300 plus points to transport them.
No, but you have a repulsor also.
Yeah,
The
but
repulsor's got a lot of guns on it.
It's still a good model.
Destroyed.
Can't fly now.
Deep Striker Squad.
yeah,
Thanks.
it's probably cheaper just to Deep Striker Squad and drop.
Especially if you're saving CP by not.
Well, I mean,
taking a
we've
spearhead
talked
or
about the validity though of parking a tank on an objective and just them not.
Come get it.
Yeah, like you still have to deal with that.
Especially
like,
a tank with 20 plus guns on
But,
it.
if eradicators are the meta, putting your eradicators in a thing that eradicators destroy doesn't seem like the play.
I think I agree with Zach on that too.
I mean, yeah.
Unless
I
you
get
run them up there, then get them out, and everybody's like, "Oh no!"
But the repulsor can shoot eradicators.
The eradicators are hard, but not if you go second because it's dead.
Well, it's not going to be in
Leave it
range.
24 inches away. Come on now. This is
20,
day one
29
stuff.
inches away.
29 inches away,
29
whatever.
inches away.
Or just behind the building.
I'm pissed about eradicators. I can't believe they made them core too. I was okay when they weren't core. I was like, okay, that seems like a debuff. So if they're going to give them all core, if everything in Space Marines is going to get core anyway,
Well, basically,
what the fuck was the point other than shitting on
Their
everybody?
rails
vehicles
are
aren't-
off.
The vehicles aren't core. That's the trick.
Yeah,
Except for Dreadnought.
except for
Oh,
Dreadnought.
Except for Dreadnoughts. So
Which,
Well, but-
which the Contemptor got more wounds too.
We don't think that like the Leviathan
I doubt Leviathans and that will
Salt
be core.
Forge World will probably not be core. So yeah, we're talking regular dreadnoughts, like not the.
Contemptor Dreadnought, Redemptor Dreadnought.
Still,
You know.
Redemptors and Contemptors have a lot of guns.
So the only model that was played was the Leviathan, which was debatably
No,
played.
Contemptors and Redemptors were played.
Contemptors were played.
The last
Last
cannon
cannon, baby.
Contemptors are definitely played.
What about
And they got
Invictors?
extra
Invictors
wounds.
Are doing Victors?
Are they core though?
What?
They're core though, right?
What?
The Contemptor and
The
Redemptor.
Contemptor and Redemptor are, but
So
not
I'm
the-
saying the only vehicle in Space Marines that was being played in the meta.
Repulsors were around.
Repulsor Executioners and Relic Leviathan Dreadnoughts were both.
and
Scorpiuses.
Scorpiuses and Whirlwinds.
Well, the Scorpiuses didn't get rerolls though. They were never close to a captain. They're just
yeah, but,
hanging
but
out.
they're not core. They're not core, and they
It
also
doesn't affect them.
I don't think the Thunderfire gets it either.
and the Thunderfire lost a strength.
All your flyers, Storm Talons and stuff. Those all saw play.
Did they?
Yeah.
I just don't
Especially
feel like
when-
I've seen a lot of that. I guess that stuff's probably not getting rerolls. Like they're
Well,
not losing
they-
rerolls on the
usually
stuff that they wanted rerolls on. I guess
the
is my
first turn
point.
you can get rerolls.
Also, the reroll aura thing is a bigger deal on the captains themselves because now no longer do you get to go around and smash shit up with your own free rerolls. Like your chapter master doesn't just get free rolls on
Yeah,
everything
hit on
he does.
twos and
Hit on
reroll
two,
ones.
reroll
Yeah,
ones.
Thunderfire cannons went down to strength 4.
Yeah.
and they don't have AP.
They did.
So that's probably not playable then.
Yeah,
that
that's
seems
yeah,
that's
that's what I'm
not,
saying.
not at the points that
You were
was
talking
at.
about vehicles not getting played, and I was looking, and I was like, well, first of all, repulsors are now heavy supports, not transports.
Really?
Yes.
They moved them to heavy support,
Huh.
and they're not core, and they don't fly anymore.
Yeah, no, the repulsor got nerfed, but I haven't seen.
Thunderfire cannons now are strength 4, no AP. They're not core, so you can't reroll those.
They would need to go back to their old points.
You never rerolled Thunderfires.
They're almost
There was
done.
never a captain parked by a
But
Thunderfire.
they're almost unplayable now.
They are unplayable. I wouldn't play that.
I don't know.
Bad.
If you still get the Hellfire shells or whatever. Not the Hellfires, the
The half moon
ground tremor shells.
It's like 2 CP though. It was.
Yeah,
2
but if you
CP.
keep their eradicators in their spawn, or in their...
Well, you're
spawn
only
zone,
taking
the
2
spawn,
inches off their movement.
But you can't
I don't know if
advance,
that's where 2
you
CP
can't advance them.
Yeah.
So if their whole thing is advance and shoot and close the gap for their 24-inch range guns, having that movement, and it would be 3 inches you remove, right? Because you round up or round down. How do you round on the...
I always assume it's in favor of the defender. Because when it goes to damage,
So
it's in favor
you're-
of the defender.
You're losing
don't-
2 plus D6 inches, so...
You don't round it down, it's 2.5. You can measure 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the apothecaries are broke now, though. Like,
Well, apothecaries are broke. They actually changed them a lot.
I mean, that's a big difference.
for one CP now.
I just assume you're not going to move. You're
Yeah,
going
but
to
you-
deep strike
yeah,
a
but you
unit
could
of
bring back a
eradicators,
model.
and you're going to have
yeah,
a unit
but
of
like you could
eradicators
bring back
defending
an
your
ATV with all
side of the
wounds.
field. I think you're
Yeah.
just not going to move them.
If you take multiple units
If
of
you-
ATVs.
Yeah.
They changed the Invictor Warsuit.
Is it core?
No.
What dreadnoughts are.
Yeah.
So you put a guy in it.
I'm pretty
It's
sure.
alive.
A core guy in it.
I can't verify. But the Invictor Warsuit used to be able to use his heavy bolter as a pistol. It changed that because he basically got to play or move around. If he was in combat, shoot his heavy weapons at -1. It was a pistol, so he's got to shoot it normally.
Yeah.
They took away that ability, so now he's -1.
Are you trying to convince me Space Marines got a nerf with these? Because
Well,
you're
I'm
not
just
going to
saying.
convince me.
Hey, scouts aren't
Invictor worse.
scouts aren't
Invictor
troops
worse.
anymore. They're elites now.
I don't know, man. As a
Scouts
guard,
aren't troops?
They are
No,
elites
they're
now.
at least infiltrators and cursors are troops, but scouts are not.
Well, did infiltrators get the wound buff?
Yeah. I think
Yeah, they did.
No, they were
No,
already.
they
They're
were
primary.
They were already
Yeah,
too.
too.
Okay.
But the scouts didn't.
Scouts,
Yeah,
as
which
of
makes-
as of right now, they did not. Scouts did not right now.
They're not going to. The book
No.
just came out.
Yeah, they're not going to.
they're not.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
I mean, did scouts go down in points? Do we know that? Or not scouts,
Points have been hard to come
infiltrators?
by. Infiltrators, I
They're
don't.
still 120.
Okay. Well, that's probably fine. I think you're wanting to play the Primaris stuff anyway as your troop choice most of the time.
Yeah. Most people were just taking scouts because it filled out about
Yeah,
battalion for cheap.
all the dreads. Duty Eternal is in the data sheet and it's flat -1. That was their dreads now just 1 wound when they blow up instead of D3. 1 mortal wound.
Really?
Well,
Yeah. Dread explosions also got toned down with regular dreads now just 1 mortal wound instead of D3, and the Redemptor and Invictor going down from D6 to D3. Redemptor fists are now D3 +3. The Contemptor is now 9 wounds. This is a buff for Iron Hands, as you can now have them benefit from Lookout Sir combined with March of the Ancients.
Oh, and just for reference, because we don't have it, shout out to Goonhammer.
Yo,
We are utilizing Goonhammer and some YouTube videos we watch.
Yeah,
so
Reddit, Facebook
so
groups.
let's just give credit where credit's due because we had to find these resources somewhere.
Yeah.
Go to goonhammer.com and they did.
I just want to make sure because
yeah.
they need credit.
They read-
If you want to read it,
They did a breakdown of both codexes and a breakdown of all the troops.
Yeah.
4 different articles.
yeah.
So-
I just want to clarify that.
yeah. As far as the apothecaries they talked about, well, I want to talk about the command thing. Is the biggest thing they got.
Sure.
It is kind of cool.
Instead
great.
of used to be if you want to make someone a chapter master or whatever, you had to spend CP. Now you just spend points.
So they get like a whole card of different new.
I have
abilities.
it. I have it right here.
And there's multiple. There's like Watchmaster and Chief Librarian and
Yeah, you could be chief librarian, chief apothecary, chapter ancient, chapter champion, master of sanctity, which is your chaplains. And so instead of paying, it used to be a CP to make your captain a chapter master. Now it's 40 points. So there's a cost to your army building
Yeah.
as opposed to just your CP pool. So it doesn't. But they changed the chapter master rule. It used to be you just got to reroll all hits. He basically became like a mini Bobby G. They've changed that. He still only has to reroll 1 bubble, but he can choose 1 character or core unit within 6 inches, and it gets to reroll all hits.
Okay.
So you could still, you could make a slam captain, like a Blood Angel slam captain. You could spend the extra 40 points, because Thunderhammers are cheaper now, and he can choose himself and reroll all hits. So there is that.
You can pump him out from Deep Strike in with a set of
Yeah.
eradicators and have them reroll.
and the Thunderhammers went to -2, which is why they're cheap.
Yeah, -2 flat 3 instead of. But they went down 20 points.
And if you make him a chapter master, he becomes a chapter master, so you can still run another captain. That's how you can kind of get around
It is. Yeah.
the 1 captain per detachment.
Which is a huge issue.
Yeah. I'm curious if Necron's got a similar thing. I haven't.
They did.
They did.
It's in their cryptex.
So that'll be like every.
So I think what we're gonna do, just seeing how long we're going and we've barely touched on Marines, is let's just focus on Marines this week. Let's talk about Marines.
And next week we'll talk
And
about
next week we'll
Necrons.
talk about Necrons
Yeah,
more
full.
thoroughly because I also have a game in, at least one,
Yeah.
because there's a lot to unbox with Marines. Like we've talked about 2 models.
Yeah.
So let's just
and you're
focus
wrong
on
on
that.
Eradicators.
So, but
Wrong on Eradicate. Okay. We'll hold you to it.
Zach's hot take of the.
No.
But so-
that's not true.
Hot take. Jace Mind Sculptor. Bad.
the upgraded chief apothecary from a regular apothecary, basically, he gets a 6-up feel no pain aura deal, but it doesn't stack with like the obviously like Iron Hands stuff. You go and you'll choose one. But so it's 15 points, and you get a Warlord trait you can give him called Selfless Healer, and they can no longer used to be apothecaries. You rolled, and if there was a unit that was wounded, you got to heal him D3. But if there wasn't and one had died, you got to bring one back with 1 wound. Now they can only heal. The ability to reanimate dead guys is a stratagem for 1 CP. If he's a Chief Librarian, you can do it for free, 0 CP, and they come back at full wounds.
And he heals flat 3.
And with the Warlord trait, he just heals flat 3.
But how often is healing flat 3 going to matter? Like, how many 4 wound Marines are there?
It's not so much flat 3 is.
They just always will be full.
Like if you have a. Yeah, they're all. You're not
don't
going to
have to
hit that D. You're
not gonna hit that
get
one.
that 1 on the D3.
Oh, okay.
It's just like, okay, well, I have an aggressor, which you're not because they're trash. But, so you got Terminators. Terminator's going to be good, right? They're 3 wounds piece. You got one on 1 wound.
Wait.
Full.
Aggressors are the models that were insane, right?
Yeah,
they got-
they took some. They're not trash.
They don't get
They're
to
not
shoot,
near as good
they
as
don't
they
get
were.
to shoot twice. They can't advance to ignore it. I mean, their power fists are now flat 2 damage as opposed to D3, but
That's
That's
like Chain
decent.
Fist and Chaos. That's really good.
that's good. But they took away the ability.
They lost half their shots.
No, that sucks.
That's bad.
That sucks for the guy that bought the broken.
They're still. They're still.
Did it again.
They're still okay.
Don't let
And
Ample
they're-
buy your army because it will just get nerfed to the
That's
L.
not me. That's Roscoe.
Yeah, it is Roscoe.
You were kind of taking it on.
But I bought aggressors because I liked them in Death Watch and the big kill team because it's just a huge ball of
Death.
Yeah, we got you.
stuff. So
Bought Castellan because he liked big robots and
And it was the meta.
those
I had big
those flamer tanks that Zach likes.
those are still
The Hellhounds,
those,
because
those are still good.
But you haven't played them.
yeah, if you put them on the table, they might get nerfed.
Well, they got Harpoon one of the last times I played it. Troy mind
With
controlled
his
like
own harpoon.
mind controlled a.
I believe that was the only hit roll that hit with that.
Yeah,
the whole game.
I missed the harpoon every time I tried it. Troy's like, I'm gonna try to get this mind control thing off because I made it the character. He's like, oh, it goes off. Why don't you harpoon the hellhound? Blew it up and exploded and blew a whole bunch of stuff up. Like,
Yeah, it was great. Loved
That's
it.
amazing.
so, but yeah, so basically you'll net those guys, but it also, like Chad said before, works on the ATVs. So if you make this guy for 15 points, you can spend 0 CP to reanimate an ATV
At full.
at full.
Does it work on bikes?
If you can.
So
Does the
it
heal
it's
work
not
on
just the infantry?
I'll have to look it into his data sheet, but
That's probably.
the Goonhammer definitely says it works on ATVs.
So it works on ATVs. It should work on bikes.
Bikes.
But the bikes didn't get the 3 to 6. They can still only stuck at 3. Which I thought was kind of. They give it to Blade Guard vets and they give it to Eradicators, but not
Oh, there's
Outriders.
the Blade Guard bits?
Yeah, that's the.
I'm on board.
What I heard.
That you knew that was going to happen. Like
I hope
3 Blade Guard vets is kind of.
Yeah, Zach hoped it would happen. That's why he was like,
my
That's
holsters
the
out,
Blood
5
Angel.
of them and a captain.
Uh-oh.
that's going to be good.
Yeah.
Except for those Eradicators will super delete that
Yeah,
impulsor.
because it doesn't have a form normal anymore.
and it doesn't fly, so it's got to go around everything.
Yeah.
They're just going to go.
And you got to spend CP to make it harder to charge. They did that too.
So they took out the scouts. You know, they made them elites, but they added the heavy intercessor squad in.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
The models on those dudes are sweet. They got
Yeah.
like belts everywhere.
Dude, those would be like a perfect model to kit bash if they were a little bit bigger into obliterators. Into like cleaner obliterators. They're just a little bit too small.
What Chaos player wanting cleaner? You need more spikes, not
I
less
don't. I
spikes.
hate
But the,
all the spikes.
they
Need
made
more spikes.
veteran intercessors was CP before. Now they're their own data sheet. They're their own thing.
Yeah.
So you don't have to.
So you don't just pay a command point and make a veteran. They
Yeah,
actually are
they're
veterans.
just a veteran.
they're just straight up, you know.
That's cool.
But the new ones, yes, they're T5, 3 wounds. You know,
But
Like the heavy guys?
yeah.
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Infantry choice. Their whole army can
Oh
be
my
T.
God.
T5, 3 wounds. They have heavy versions, all the regular bolt rifles, and yes, at some point in playtesting, their names were clearly changed from Heavy Stalker and Heavy Auto to Executor and Hellstorm, respectively, and then forgotten in all the options lists.
There's new land speeders too that look sweet.
Oh yeah,
I just want to mention that I have been preaching since the start of 9th edition that being able to kill T5 models
It's
is
true.
important.
It's
Zach
now-
has been on this train.
It is now more important.
Zach Zach's been on this train since
So if you-
podcast 2.
So
We
if
are
you listen
15.
to me, you're welcome because you already know how to beat this.
If you're bringing a bunch of strength 3 guns, have a bad day.
That's been 9th edition though. Strength 3, Strength 4, debatable. Strength 3 though is basically
And the-
like because it has no AP.
The ATV is only 80 points. 85 with the multi-melta.
So here's my question to our Marine players. Do you guys have any things that you're going to be playing in the new list? Like legitimately, not like neat, like competitive options that you feel like what are your changes?
I'm going to test the heavy intercessor squad.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
So are you cutting the drop pod?
I think so. I think the drop pod...
Because
The Death Bomb lost its stratagem and not being able to reroll and just... It was under 200 points for the Death Squad and the drop pod together.
Are they core? They could be
They
core.
could be core.
They could be
If
core.
Eradicators are core, anything could be core.
I'll have to look at
Yeah.
their data sheet for sure, but if they're not core...
But they lost
they're-
the stratagem, which was
They didn't lose
The
The
stratagem was the
stratagem
big
was the
thing.
best
Yeah.
thing.
They're
I
still
will
really
say,
good at taking out infantry.
I will say that when you drop dev squads against me, even with the stratagem, they felt okay,
They were...
and they were gone as soon as they the next turn.
The Thunderfire Cannon getting nerfed to all...
You took some
They
hits.
nerfed it twice. They nerfed it before ninth,
Well,
and then they nerfed it again.
It
Like,
needed what it got before 9th.
it
Yeah,
did, but now
sure.
it's just unplayable for the points cost that it's
Well,
at.
if a lot of models are going to be T5 and you have no AP and everything,
Strength 4, no AP instead of Strength 5, -1 AP is
Well, you still get -1 AP at some point because of the doctrine.
the first turn.
And then you could pay CP to give it all doctrines. So
Still, Strength...
give it CP.
Losing a Strength, though, is...
Losing the strength is big.
That's, I mean... I liked it. Strength 5, -1.
But
I
it's
thought there
still
was a
really
spot
good
for
against
it.
a lot of armies, like Tyranids, Orcs, anybody that's not
if
T5.
they're doing hordes,
If
if
they're-
hordes are a thing,
I
definitely think you play them.
I'm not saying it's unplayable. I'm saying it's not as playable as it was
If
2
we-
weeks ago.
Like, yeah. It just depends on the meta. Like, if you're just playing mono Marines, yeah, don't bring it.
I like the new Storm Speeders. I don't know how good they are yet. The
So-
Hammer Strike, you know.
So, Anvil, are you still playing aggressors, or are you going to be replacing them with something else?
I'll probably still play the aggressors in Death Watch, mainly because I can abuse the way Death Watch works
Protects them.
to be well that I can make that whole unit T5 for the purpose of you rolling wounds because I'm even numbers. And then with the apothecary, I can make it a chief apothecary for 15 points, and I just get to pick one up every turn for free.
Seems good.
I am going to try the Hammerfall bunker. I think it's bad.
Dude.
Being able to shoot everything
Being
that
able to
it
shoot
can
everything
see.
is insane.
Like,
Yeah, Troy. First thing is like this thing gets to shoot everything.
But here's the
Shoot
thing: isn't
everything.
that considered a fortification?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Okay,
getting it
so-
on the board is the problem.
Yeah, so right now you can't have a fortification within, 6 inches?
of
3 inches.
3 inches of any piece of terrain. That doesn't exist on any board we play on.
Right.
All right, that's the problem. Now, there might be new rules and that we haven't seen that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, don't, competitively, I looked at the camera like I was talking to people, competitively, don't buy that until that's clarified.
Yeah, they'll have to. But looks like they're going to be doing fortifications for every army we talked about. So,
But that could just be a casual
I mean,
thing.
how many bolter shots is 175 points worth? That's what it is. 175 points.
Heavy bolter or
well, it also
regular
has a
bolter?
missile launcher too.
Yeah, it has a missile launcher and
The Primaris chaplain on a bike could be sweet. The bike chaplain guy,
Yeah.
because you can get some pretty cool
like they did a lot
litanies,
of
and he'd be extra mobile on the bike.
they did a lot of changes to the weapons. Like grav cannons are now 30-inch range and flat 2 damage.
But the fortification, back to that.
Yeah.
You can give it flamers, right?
Yeah,
And it
yes.
deep strikes, it hammer falls like a lamp. Then you can just drop it 9 inches away from most of the army, and the flamers get a flamer everything it can see.
Is it more than is it not an 8-inch flamer?
It's a 12-inch flamer. Well, all flamers are going to 12 inches though.
All flamers are?
Supposedly.
It can't deep strike.
So with that being clarified, that I will say that Alpha Legion stratagem to make your opponents deploy at plus 12 plus inches is really good if anybody's trying to do some flamer shenanigans. And they just can't charge you. That's the other thing.
Big old ball of flame.
Like the big.
That's pretty
Pretty
cool.
sweet.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
like,
cool.
It's T8 with 14 wounds. It can't deep strike. Amusingly, it explodes on.
It can't deep strike.
Can't deep
I thought
strike.
it had like a drop pod rule. Like
It can't deep strike. Right there on it. The
Well,
So you
there goes
put it in
that.
your own deployment
So it's
zone?
called hammerfall, but it doesn't hammerfall.
Hammerfall
Man, this
bunker.
bullshit. Thing sucks.
it explodes 6 inches for D6
Troy's like, wasn't
wounds.
spiky
That's
enough
funny.
anyway.
Yep, wasn't spiky.
That's funny though. D6 wounds at 6 inches when it explodes. That's
That
kinda
sucks because you have to put it in your deployment zone.
neat. Yeah,
Thing sucks. Well, you don't have to put fortifications in your deployment zone, right?
I assume they.
Because you used to do the Tyranid thing.
But it let you.
Oh, well, I don't know then.
I'm pretty sure
you would hope this thing couldn't see too much when it's stuck in a deployment zone. And at that point, you're really asking how many heavy bolter shots is 175 points worth.
So it wasn't you asking, it was Goonhammer.
No,
You
yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, you need to stop reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
anyway,
don't read their article.
Hey man,
but
I mean, read their article, just don't.
Read it out loud.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, how many is it worth?
the
Not enough if you can't deploy it.
but some of the cool things we didn't talk about stratagems. There's adaptive strategy. So 2 CP,
I read that
you
too.
can give a unit all the doctrines. All of them.
For
So,
the
limited.
turn,
I wish it was one and you could pick one because giving a unit all of them doesn't really. It sounds cool, but how often is having all of them really going to matter?
well, what would that mean on like
So like a Blood Angels that had like you had
best case scenario? Let's talk
Okay.
about that.
so like let's say you had
It's got a really low
a Blood Angel like Eradicator or whatever. It would be able to. It'd have the heavy doctrine, so it's -1 to shoot its heavy weapon
For the phase or for the turn?
for the turn. So then it'd be able to charge, and it get plus to charge. It gets extra attacks, and what is it? They get 1 extra attack, an extra AP on its attack, and
What are we talking about?
like a Blood Angel.
All the doctrines.
If you had like
combined.
Blood Angels Doctrine.
They get +1 to advance and charge,
and an extra attack.
and the extra attack.
So
They get the +1 to advance and charge all the time, +1 to wound all the time. Then in the assault doctrine, they get +1 attack and +1 in.
And they wouldn't have the
Maybe.
penalty, and they won't have the penalty for the heavy.
I think it actually works better on like your Death Watch units that are mixed. They have
Yeah.
like assault weapons and rapid fire weapons, and you can put.
So you really need something that could use the full spectrum.
well,
of-
something that could shoot and charge that turn.
well, yeah, that's
So
the
you get
scenario
like,
where
you'll get like 2 uses out of it.
So I think what you're going to see is just like turn 1, you're going to see Blood Angels use it, just so they can get the extra attack on their big.
on the
unit.
first turn, right?
Yeah, that's where I think you're going to see it. Maybe you'll see it like when Iron Hands wants to go back into the heavy doctrine to get.
Or Chad could use it if you
So
want.
it's good that it's not 1 CP because it would be broken.
Agreed.
I don't
Yeah,
think,
probably.
yeah, probably too good. But I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of mixed units that want to advance or that want to charge and shoot because it just seems kind of seems gimmicky. I could totally see somebody going, I need to fight.
The bikes.
Well,
I want
aggress-
extra
Well,
attack on
to
turn
say
1.
this
That's
though,
really good.
aggressors.
okay,
I can shoot my aggressor with extra AP, then charge, then I get extra AP
Yeah,
on
I mean,
their Power Fist. But
Sure.
or the jump pack veterans with chain swords pistols. Like, because then you bump them up and on like first, second turn, give them AP on their pistols. It's still only 1, but it's something. And you're planning to charge with those guys anyway.
Yeah, that
you
seems
get,
fine.
You
Then
get
you
AP
got-
on the pistols.
And you can get AP on the swords too.
Sure. I mean,
Did chain swords get moved? Did they get changed?
the chainsword.
Chain sword, chain fist got changed. I don't see chain sword on the list.
Okay, I heard that chain sword they were going to have like an
I thought
AP chain sword.
well, they do have that. They do.
All the guys in the Indominus box have
Yeah, they had the chain sword.
It's -1 already.
Minus one
Okay,
already.
okay.
It's called the Star.
But I think regular chain swords are still just.
Okay, I had thought regular chain swords were getting a
No,
change.
Astartes chain swords have -1 AP.
Okay.
Well, I thought they were changing all the Marines chainswords to a Star.
Yeah, that's what that was the impression I was under, is that all
See, we gotta get the Codex.
A lot of weapons changed. Like,
But not.
But we don't have the Codex, so I can't.
Yeah, that's rough.
Okay, I was just curious because that is relevant for Chaos eventually as well. Having chain swords, so
No, we'll get Chaos chain swords that subtract an attack.
yeah, yeah.
Give
And
your-
if
give
you
your
roll a
opponent
1, your
health.
model kills itself.
Yeah, something like that.
they
Says
really,
blood for the blood god.
they really pumped the weapons on the vehicles a lot. Like the heavy onslaught cannons up to strength 6. The onslaught Gatling cannons 8
Yeah,
shots
but what are the
up from
points
6.
cost changes? That's what That's my big concern with Necrons. Necrons, without seeing their points costs on paper,
Yeah.
are insane. Like they've gotten so like I hated rolling D6 shots and D6 damage. Now everything's like D3 plus D3 shots and D3 plus 3 damage. That's insane.
I agree with that. That's it. The D whatever plus X is
It's
way
bananas.
better than like a D.
Yeah. So that if but we got to see how points apply. So I'm much more concerned. I don't care about. I like to see things getting buffed. Like I would much prefer to see anything get buffed as long as the points
As long as it's not
match
Marines.
it. Well, Marines don't need any more buffs, man.
Well, they're gonna get them.
I know.
And transhuman now, like we talked about before, 1 CP if it's less than 5 models or 5 or less.
Yeah.
So
Which I think that's huge.
Now it's models, not power level. Right?
models.
Models.
Number of
Okay.
models. So if you got small squads in your army, it's better because now you only have to spend 1 CP to transhuman it, as opposed to a 10-man squad. It's going to cost you 2 still. They changed orbital bombardment, which Zach will love because he loves that stratagem. Zach hates it. He says it's trash. Basically, it's area denial now. Basically, so in your command phase, if your warlord's on the battlefield, you choose a point, and the orbital bombardment doesn't happen until the next command phase.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
That sounds even worse.
Well, the point is though, they know where it's going to hit, so they have to stay out of there, or it takes on a 2 to 5 takes D3, and on a 6 they take D6.
Okay. So it's just an area denial thing.
And units within 3 inches of the marker are +1 to that roll. So then it's 1 to 4 they take D3, and then on 5 they take D6.
Yeah.
So basically, you can choose like the middle of the board or whatever, and be like, "I'm choosing this point right here," and then they basically have to make a bubble unless they don't want to risk taking a bunch of mortal wounds. So,
Not scary.
How many CP? 1?
So it used to be like 3.
Yeah.
3 CP?
Yeah.
That will never be played.
Wow.
Well, but it's interesting that it's more area.
Emberfall Bunker gets to do it for free.
Like it's neat. I will give you that.
Pretty sure that was
It
part of the
feels
statue.
cool lore wise, because like you would call in an orbital strike or whatever.
But as it also it hits units, not just enemy units. So you gotta make sure.
Whoa, shit.
Well, but yeah, but make sure. Well,
Pay 3 CP to smite my own dudes.
Well,
I love it.
But you gotta make
My
sure
God.
you just don't put your dudes. It's like there's a big.
So it's like
Wow,
an emergency button if somebody's occupying an objective that you don't want them to occupy.
Or you could do it like early and just be like to keep them off of it for a turn.
I would still walk onto that. We don't think.
Especially if it's Zach using that stratagem, he's not gonna roll on. He's gonna roll ones.
Yeah, but
one did nothing. Thanks.
but if they're within 3 inches of it, you hit them once.
That's true. It just doesn't. It just seems like
It doesn't
a
seem-
huge
just
investment
smite
for
like
3
that, it doesn't
CP.
seem-
Yeah, it's just more interesting now that it's more table denial to be like, I'm gonna choose this point.
I think late
Try to
game,
commit.
if for some reason you are swimming in CP, it could be good to try to pull a small unit off of an objective, or just try to get lucky and kill it. But
Maybe.
that's the only scenario.
Yeah, it could be like I really need to kill this unit.
yeah, like we're doing domination, and I could hold more.
Yeah, you're like, I need to get him off the objective or kill him. One of the two.
Yeah, and but then it's still
But
3
is
CP.
still
Like
a lot.
I just can't imagine spending 3 CP to be like make you move that model. Like, just seems bad.
I was gonna. So there's a chapter warlord trait, and it's Dark Angels, but it's going to be pretty bonkers. Or
But Dark Angels weren't in the book.
well, it's the brilliant strategist warlord trait, and it used to be on a 5-up you got a CP back, but now units within 6 inches of it, they get to roll back a doctrine. One unit can go back a
They can
doctrine
go
for a
back
turn.
if they want.
No, that's pretty cool.
So
That's neat. I like that. I can get on board with that.
I read
So like, what else are you guys playing though? Obviously, you want to play the thing that can pick up ATVs. Anvil, are you gonna play the ATVs?
no, Probably
try
not.
the ATV.
Not in Death Watch.
Ooh, I wonder if they'll let you put an ATV in a Death Watch squad, because that'd be comedy.
That'd be rude.
More than likely, my list will still be pretty similar. I might look at Blade Guard veterans, some more choppy units to try to work in.
Can Blade Guard veterans get put in those kill teams?
I haven't actually seen it yet, but we get them, but I don't think they can go into the kill teams.
Okay, because that'd be kind of neat.
Need more choppy than.
So what do you? I mean,
They're slow. The power.
I know you don't know a lot about what's going on with the whole Codex release, Zach, but are you going to be doing anything else other than more Blade Guard veterans and Blood Angels? Like,
That's pretty much all I wanted anyway. So I got everything I was looking for.
how do you feel about the not flying?
I mean, that's a super nerf, but I'm not going to say it's not deserved. So I'm more upset about the shield dome going to a 5-up. That's not fun.
The what?
The shield dome on the impulsor.
Yeah.
It used to be a 4-up. Now
Yeah.
it's a 5-up.
You used to pay 25 points to give it a 4-up invulnerable, and now it's a 5-up invulnerable. So
Yeah. It makes the Astra Militarium tanks, though, seem like much more correctly pointed
And
with those changes to the repulsors.
the impulsor used to be -2 to charge.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now it's a stratagem. It's not built into the.
So it's
That's a
more
nice little
armies.
thing. I mean, it was
Yeah,
usually
they're
that's
more.
not a reason why you take it, but at least it's. I mean, it definitely sucks it's not there anymore, but
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like
I mean,
those
I
things
would-
flying around
Are you
were
gonna play bigger
annoying.
squads of eradicators, or eradicators at all?
I think I'd stick to the 3. I think 3-man squads are plenty.
Yeah, I think they're
I think if you start adding more dudes to it, it just makes them.
a bigger target.
I mean, they're already a huge target. Like, if I'm playing guard against eradicators, I'm killing the eradicators first, because if I don't, I die.
Yeah.
So if you play 2 squads of 5, that's one less squad I have to shoot.
Even one eradicator can.
But it's one more dude total.
It is one
It's
more
gonna
dude.
soak up more. I mean, it's one of those things. It depends on what's shooting at it. Like guard specifically with your flat 3 damage weapon.
Ugh.
Like, yeah, it's
Strength
bad to
42.
see him punch, but when you got
Strength
1 and 2
-4.
damage profiles on weapons, having to shoot more whole units at it to get that damage through.
That's like strength 14, -6 AP, flat 3 damage.
Yeah.
Fuck
I don't
off.
get a bunch of AP. I don't know.
This one -2 on there.
He's not playing Necrons, man.
Personally, I think Necrons are far worse matchup than Eradicators for Astra Militarium.
Yeah. I from what I've
Everything
read,
in Necrons is just like minus a billion
-4
AP.
AP.
So it's like you get no saves. My entire army makes it so you don't get any saves.
yeah. So I know we're not going to talk about Necrons a lot, but I think we're getting close to wrap it up. I will say the Pistol Pete guy with
He
6
looks
pistols.
He does look sweet.
I'm actually kind of excited about taking him as a one of
Yeah.
for horde armies because every time he kills something, he can just shoot again.
Nice.
That's like his trait. Granted, it's 6 pistols.
Can it stack? Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Every time.
I don't know if it's a whole. I think it's a. It might be. I think it's a model. It gets to shoot again.
If it kills the model, it gets to shoot
That
again.
seems absurd.
That gun gets to shoot again. Not like all 6 guns get to
okay.
shoot again. Like
Shoot
each
against-
time you get a kill, you can shoot a gun
That's what
again.
puts 40 plague bearers out there. You just
No,
kill
you're
7
talking.
of
We're
them.
talking like Tyranids, T3
You're not gonna
models
kill
with
40
shitty
plague bears
saves.
with that dude.
Yeah, you're not gonna kill 3 plague bears with that dude.
Oh, and I was just thinking,
Especially when plague
Death
bears
Watch
go
did
2
get a
moves.
slight change. Their mission tactics, it used to be, there was like 5, and they were like lumped. So it was like HQ, troops, and then it was like heavies and Lord of War, like some of them were like doubled up. It's just single now. So it's like troops, elites, heavies, Lord of War, HQ. That's how it actually separated them out. into
Good.
all the-
That's good. But yeah, I think he could be neat as a one of just to kind of have a little. I mean, honestly, Necrons are going to be good at answering hordes. I think in general, I think Necrons have a lot of answers. I need to see their points. That's where I'm concerned because they're so quality now. Obviously, the shards are insane. They just by their sheer like survivability is going to be obnoxious for people to deal with. My hot takes are I don't think destroyers are going to be in lists anymore at 60 points apiece. It was pretty hard to take them as they were in more than one big unit. Tomb Blades are probably not going to be playable anymore given the increased toughness, and Tesla is worse. It's only on natural 6s, so their Tesla guns are worse. They are going to reanimate protocol less. I just think they're probably better. And from the sounds of it, playing huge warrior bombs is a much better solution right now. Because I misunderstood. I thought it was at the end of each phase they all protocoled. It's not at the end of each time they get shot. So this week's list, I'm probably going to bring 60 warriors.
What about Immortals? Are they any better or worse?
No, they went up in points. They did gain in toughness, so they're T5. But they're still only 1 moon models.
T5, you said.
But
But only one win.
their animation protocols are better for those guys.
Yeah, but I
so.
can't see paying the points for those when warriors are just a bigger blob. And if we, like Zach
Well, I'm
talked
just saying
about,
they went up a little bit. But I was saying, as far as they did get better as far as every time they
I don't
get
think
shot,
immortals are bad. I think I'm going to try to spam warriors. I think I have 2 troop choices, and I think warriors are the better choice.
The guys with swords, they aren't troops?
No, they're elites.
Oh.
So score pack destroyers, I think, are the real winners from what I've read so far. They went down 5 points a model, and they felt good at 40 points per model. So they're down to 35 points per model. You can take them in units of 6. They're strength 5, AP 3, flat 2 damage on all of them except for their like leader, which is strength 7, AP 4, flat 3 damage. I think those guys are going to be bringing the pain. They can still reroll failed wound rolls. So I'm really excited about them. I'm anxious to see how... I don't know how many models you can take in a unit with the new Locust Destroyer, which is the one that can get the crazy stratagem to let them reroll all failed hits and wounds. You can't do that in regular destroyers anymore, so that's why I think that was a big thing of consistency for them. Cryptex seem weird. I still don't understand everything on them. I think you have to play a Canopic Reanimator.
Yeah.
Because you want that +1 to your reanimation protocols. And it's not super expensive, and it looks dope. It was like my favorite model
Oh, it's definitely
out of the
smart.
Indominus box.
Is it like a aura, or is it just your whole army?
It's an aura.
How far?
I think 6 inches.
Is that the thing with the 3 legs?
Yeah.
War of the Worlds thing?
The long legs.
I thought it was the thing from, Man of Steel that was trying to, terraform the Earth.
Oh, you think copied War of the Worlds guy?
Yeah. But those are the things I'm excited about. I do like looking through the Necrons model, the line, and going, man, I'm going to have like Shard in here. I'm going to have these score packs. I'm going to have Warriors. I'm going to have
Silent King.
maybe a Silent King, depending on how many points he is. I'm going to own the model,
Yeah, he's pretty sweet.
no matter what. I don't care that it's $150. I'm going to own that model.
900 points.
It better not be
No,
900
it's not going to be
points.
900 points.
I will flip every table GW has. I'll go to the shop and flip all their tables first.
Whoa.
But I'm excited about it. I'll have a lot more to discuss on it next week when I really test it. But my list will probably still be Doomsday Arcs because they're
Did they get
way better.
Are they really?
They're D3+3 shots and D3+3 damage now,
Nice.
Yeah.
which was the worst thing about it.
Yay! Zach loves it.
Jack loves them.
So they got a huge buff. Warriors, allowing me to spam warriors in an effective way was kind of the big thing Necron struggled with. It's like, I don't care about blast weapons if I reanimate after each blast shot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm actually hopeful. I just need to see the points. Like, warriors are 13 points per model though, which is crazy considering they're T4,
But they're only going to die a third of the time.
Ideally, yeah. Well, hopefully half the time, because I'm going to be parking reanimators.
I'm going to have to change, my whole list.
Well, I was going to wrap that up with as far as when we get to Space Marines, but I think the big winner is infantry
Yeah.
and bikers. I think vehicles got considerably worse in 9th edition, and it seems like all the infantry models got better.
Yeah.
Except scouts.
And
now they're elites. They're unplayable.
Not unplayable. Scout deploying is still insanely valuable. I don't care what slot it was in. If I could scout
Marines
deploy in
don't
chaos.
have a great amount of elites. Like,
Well,
it's
and
heavy
we just had there was a 109 person tournament in Oklahoma, won by White Scars, and they put scouts in the storm
Inside the
speeders
Storm Speeder.
and ran them forward. Like if they didn't want to scout deploy against certain armies,
The Storm Speeder can hold people?
the storm one
Land Speeder Storm.
Land Speeder Storm.
Scouts.
Old Scouts.
That's why you never saw them, because Scouts could forward deploy. Why in the fuck would you put them in a transport?
But now you can protect them, so they can just run them forward, shoot them up the battlefield, then you got to destroy it, then the scouts get out.
And then they die. What?
Hey, it won, so
Yeah.
he was probably a really talented player and had a very specific
his
goal.
whole army could be put in either transports or deep struck or whatever. So like he could just kind of
Make you make bad shooting decisions.
Every game at the start, he's like, okay, I'm just going to do this.
It's like those little Russian dolls. Every time you kill one, just more
Yeah.
pop
More
out.
pop out.
Yeah.
I would say something to keep in mind, though, is if the warrior spam has validity in the metagame, that means that either the people are going to have to adjust and use more blast weapons, or or more other troop spam will become a thing as well. So there is something to keep in mind with if warrior spam is as good as it sounds on paper, it's going to be a big shakeup in the meta because it's finally a large, durable unit that can move.
Well, that's what I think we might see a metagame with more Blade Guard veterans, veteran, like Outriders, things that are smaller, not vehicles. So Doomsday Arcs, you were talking about being good, might actually not be great because it's just going to be a bunch of.
Well, Doomsday Arcs still get 20 shots. They get 20 rapid.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
and they have different profiles.
Yeah, they have a flamer profile and an assault. They're insane. Doomsday Arcs are.
Well, still take them for sure.
But you might not see as many running around. You might see one in a list, but you're not going to spam Doomsday Arcs.
I'll probably play. I think I'm going to play 2 no matter what, just because the points increase. I don't want to play 3 anymore. So,
but I think
I don't think playing one of it.
I think it's going to get back to a more infantry based, like it was at the start of 8th. It was all about troops.
Yeah,
there was a whole bunch of
I can bring
troops.
2 more.
There was Tyranids. There was just a bunch of models on the table, and I think we're going to get back to more like Space Marines list. From what we're seeing, I think there's going to be a lot of troops, maybe a couple dreadnoughts, but maybe some ATVs and stuff. But there's not going to be tanks. There's not going to be repulsors sitting around.
Make sure you can kill T5. Moral of the story.
God, kill T5. Yeah, everything's T5.
The more efficient you are killing T5, the better your army will be.
Because if you can kill T5, you always kill T4.
Yeah. So, what's our question of the week? Like I said, my big thing is I do want to know other people's opinions on 500 point, 1,000 point games.
Yeah, that we can.
Favorite new model.
Favorite new model.
Favorite new model. Favorite new rule.
Yeah, there you
go.
From the Codex,
like
as if you got anything. Something you're most what are you most excited about from the Codex? It doesn't have to be a model. It could be a stratagem. It could be
pick something.
And let's hear what you
your
got.
favorite model. That's cool.
Yeah, or your favorite model. Anything.
Send us anything.
Or both. Send it all.
Just say hi.
Post it
Your
in
favorite
Discord.
non-Silent King model, because we all know this.
We know.
Woo! Silent King, man, 28 wounds. That dude is.
He's a unit.
So he's 100% going to be in Supreme Command, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the Supreme Commander. The thing is he did get like kind of a shitty house, as far as like
Oh, he has to be in that house.
Yeah.
But if he's in the Supreme Command, that means
He does
just the Supreme Command has to be.
But he has like his whole thing is he does buff effects to the army.
Okay.
Like he wants to do things to other units within his house,
But look
like
at
my
him.
will be done and stuff.
It's like
It's like playing Bobby G in a
Iron Hands. Yeah.
It's
So
like you can do
that's
that.
Still got flaming sword.
but he's also his sword is on fire.
I got speakers, dude.
Your guy's like 20 inches tall.
Speakers
Like,
to do flat 6 damage.
Yeah. They don't do flat 6. They do D3 plus 3.
I thought they did flat 6.
No, they're D3 plus 3 as
Oh,
well.
they might as well.
so when he
They're
rolls,
heat,
flat
they're
six
heat
between
rays. Yeah, they're heat
Well,
rays.
Well, I mean, it's Brinks.
it's Brinks rolling a flat 6 every time.
So flat 12.
Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be awesome.
Killing fucking Lehman Russes.
Maybe it's time
Silent
to-
King shrugs at Lehman Russes.
Maybe it's time to get all the guardsmen back out.
He does have kind of a slower movement too. I think he's got like
Well, yeah,
8 inches of
based on the
movement,
command
so-
bars. He's not going anywhere. He's just back here shooting heat rays and commanding dudes.
Hopefully we know the points.
he also has a anti-psychic bubble. He has a deny bubble. He has a deny.
Of course he does.
He has a power. He's got
he has the
harnessing a
command power.
Satan
Yeah.
on there.
Remember this? He was talking about like rules. If you can break a rule, Space Marines, you do it. It's like
He just named one. He just named
all the
one
He doesn't
model.
break any rules though.
But he has all the rules.
He has one
But he doesn't
model.
break it.
I said it took a Necron god to finally get a data sheet with as many lines of text as a Space Marine captain.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
all right, we'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Bye.